Today, I want to talk about not a specific subject of trade school, but just being a girl. Okay, this was my expectation of going to trade school, especially with the classes that I've chosen, construction slash carpentry and plumbing. I just thought there's going to be all guys, and my experience passing by a construction site in my neighborhood or wherever, and when I lived in Hawaii, like wherever it was, passing by a construction site was just an uncomfortable feeling. I mean, it wasn't so dramatic, but you would get a whistle here and there.
And you would get whatever,
I'm not trying to toot my own horn or saying I'm all that or
saying I'm all that. I'm still in middle school.
but as a girl, you just get hollered at in front of a construction site because I guess it's such a male testosterone filled environment, but it's always disgusting. I just expected the worst men in my class. I just expected it to be an uncomfortable environment. Boy, was I wrong. I'm sure, obviously, some people like that, maybe in class, but I think they sit far from me, or maybe they keep their comments to themselves. I don't know, but regardless, in a school environment, especially at this trade school, even though I'm taking a construction and carpentry class and plumbing class, the age range is all over the place. There are people I feel like that's been in the field for many, many years, and then there's probably someone in their 50s in my carpentry class, and then as young as someone in their 20s. So it's all over. And obviously the fact is true, it's mostly men in the class, but in my carpentry class we started with 4 girls. Now we start with 5 girls, and then there's probably 20 guys. And then in my plumbing class, 25 guys and 4 girls. It's true, it's mostly guys, and maybe that's uncomfortable for some. People are people, at the end of the day. And when you're in an instructional setting, they're really there to learn, and they're not here to... I guess it's all about the setting. I do have to admit that there's a lot of special treatment going on, especially in my carpentry class. The instructor finds me the lightest hammer. The instructor will let me go first when we try to use a new tool. There's that involved that could be helpful, that could make you uncomfortable. For me, I have my days where I feel a little bit I don't want that kind of extra attention. And then there are days where I just feel I can't get through this class unless I get extra help, kind of thing. I do want to say, as far as being the only girl aspect, I feel safe. I feel respected. I feel like I am getting my chance at learning everything that everyone else is also learning. So there's no negative factor there. If you're the kind of person that would feel uncomfortable being in a classroom with mostly guys, and guys I feel can be a little bit more rowdy, they'll talk out of turn, things like that. Because the classroom setting is so intimate, it's so small, that you feel comfortable just blurting out your answers, as with when you go to a university and the classes are much bigger, or the students are just in such a setting where there's a lot of material being discussed at once that you don't really have a lot of time to interrupt a teacher. Maybe that's why I feel like a lot of the classes that I've taken when I was finishing my bachelor's in economics, there weren't really a lot of that going on where people just blurted out questions right out of the blue. It's a lot more organized and quiet. The experience level of the students are just so wide scale. From me as someone that's never done anything and dabbled in anything construction or plumbing to someone that's been in the field for 20 years. Like I said, like a person in their 50s and 60s that's already working for a company, has been working for a company, or has their own plumbing business, whatever it is. It's just the experience level is all over the place. They want to send as many people to the unions or to companies so that they can make money. I think because they know that the socioeconomic situations for a lot of these students is such that they are kind of left with their own devices, and if they don't have a trade skill, then they could, I guess, I don't know. I don't know what. I just feel like money is a big factor in keeping these students here. And I feel like otherwise they could go a really bad route. It's like they've seen it happen before. And I guess that stereotype of people in the trades, like a handyman having been an ex-con or having some kind of criminal record, I understand that there's some truth to that, and so that's kind of the assumption of kids in this school. Like they want these kids to not get in, not kids because there's people of all ages, like I said, but they want these people to follow through with the program, get the right knowledge, do things right, don't cut corners, don't be like a bad contractor that just takes the homeowner's money and runs off kind of thing, or does things half-assed, does not follow the code. They don't want that to happen, but more so they are motivating students to let them know that you have the ability to stay in school and make way more than what you're making now working your minimum wage job, or not working at all, and things like that. It's just, there's a lot of that talk, and I feel like going to university, I didn't have that talk at all. It was never really about money, so the approach is totally different. Instructors just realize the community that we're in, that good apples become bad apples without the proper direction, without the proper faith and education. Not faith just like religion, but just someone letting them know, like, hey, if you do things right, if you continue these classes, you can make it far, kind of thing. So that is like the universal ranging approach in all of my classes, which I never really had that kind of message going to university. There was a lot of anonymity just because the university is a lot bigger. So yeah, it really warms my heart that a lot of that gets discussed in class. Everyone has a different path, and just because you're told to graduate from high school, go to college, and then you're going to get a great job, and you're going to have a good salary, and you're going to work that job for many, many years, and then you retire and you die. Just because someone said that that's the right thing to do, that's what you're supposed to do, and all of your friends are doing it, and everybody around the US is doing, doesn't mean that it's right for you. And if you want to do something unconventional and not the recommended path that everyone's following, then you should do it. I feel like that's how I've always treated everything that I've done, I didn't want to stay in Hawaii forever, so I left. But I wanted to be smart about it, so I left during my senior year of high school. And when I couldn't finish school, I felt like a failure. But I knew that I wanted to come back and try it again in the mainland, and I did. And I wanted to finish my bachelor's, and I did. And I wanted an office job, so I got it. But after three years, I realized that I wanted to do something different, so I'm doing it. I am reinventing what we think of as a legitimate job, as a legitimate life path. And I don't really care what other people are going to say. I don't care if I make some mistakes on the way, because I'm sure I will. But I believe that it's the ones that steer off from the correct path that have the most fulfilling lives. You know, you can't just do what everyone else is doing. And it's not to say that people that follow that direction and are happy with it and are successful in their own way, I don't think there's anything wrong with that per se. I just think that there's nothing wrong with wanting to do something different, because you shouldn't just think that the way that things are done, the way that everyone else is doing it, is the only way. Because I don't want to be stuck. I don't want to be stuck thinking like I have no freedom of choosing whatever the heck I want to do. Because I can. I am my own boss at the end of the day, no matter who I work for. I am the only boss and my own boss of my life. And this is what I want to do right now, and I love learning, and I'm enjoying everything so far. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Again, please subscribe if you'd like to follow my journey, or if you're thinking about doing something different as well, if you're thinking about going to trade school, and if you have any questions, please post on the comments thread below. I mean, honestly, no one really watches my videos anyway, but if you are out there watching, you know, feel free to comment if you have any questions. And that's it. Peace.